Good evening. It's April 16th, and tonight we are going to read Old Testament, New Testament, Psalms, and Proverbs. We are going to be reading from Joshua 13:1 through 14:15, Luke 18:1 through 17, Psalms 85:1 through 13, and Proverbs 13:7 and 8. We like to say the Lord's Prayer before we get started, so if you will join in with me. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, the glory forever and ever. Amen. So we had, let's see, that's the 17th. Oh, that's not much better. Let's see, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy were a lot. So Joshua's been pretty good with the stories. Tonight, tomorrow night, Sunday night. Sunday night looks a little better. Tonight and tomorrow night, I'm going to apologize ahead of time. It looks like a lot of the same thing that we've been going through with Leviticus, Exodus, and Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers. So we are going to be reading Joshua 13:1 through 14:15. When Joshua had reached a vulnerable age, God said to him, "You had a good long life, but there's a lot of land still to be taken. This is the land that remains. All the districts of the Philistines, the Jezerites, the land from Sheor River up east of Egypt to the border Ekron to north, Canaanite country. There were 5 Philistine tyrants in Gaza, in Ashdod, Ishkelon, in Gath, Ekron, Avim to the south, all a Canaanite land of Era belonging to the Sidonians, to Apec, to the Amorite border, to the country of the Gabalites, all Lebanon eastward of Baal-Gad in the shadow of Mount Hermon, to the entrance of Hamath, all who lived in the mountains from Lebanon to Mishproth Maim, all the Sidonians. I myself will drive them out before the people of Israel. All you have to do is allot the land to Israel as an inheritance, as I have instructed you. Do it now. Allot this land as an inheritance to the 9 tribes of the half tribes of Manasseh. The other half tribe of Manasseh, with the Reubenites and the Gadites, have been given their inheritance by Moses on the other side of the Jordan eastward. Moses, the servant of God, gave it to them. The land extended from Aor at the edge of Arnon Gorge and the city in the middle valley, taking in the entire tableland of the Medeba, as far as Dibon, all the towns of Shion, king of the Amorites, who ruled from Heshbon and out of the border of the Amorites. It is all including Gilead, the country of the people of Geshur, Makkah, all the Mount Hermon, and the Bashan as far as Selikah, the whole kingdom of Og and Bashan, who resigned in Ashtaroth and Edrei. He was one of the last survivors of Rephaim. Moses had defeated them and taken their land. The people of Israel never did drive out the Jezerites and the Mackites. They're still there living in Israel. Levi was the only tribe that did not receive an inheritance. The fire gift offerings to God, the God of Israel, are their inheritance, just as he told them. To the tribe of Reuben, clan by clan, Moses gave them the land from Aroer to the edge of the Arnon Gorge into the town of the Middle Valley, including the tableland around Medeba, Heshbon on the tableland with all its towns, Dibon, Barmoth, Baal Beth, Baal Meon, Jahaz, Giddemoth, Matpath, Kirathim, Sibam, Zereth, Shehar, and Valley Mountain, Beth Peor and the slopes of Pisgah, Beth Jezimon, and all the cities of the tableland, the whole kingdom of the Shion king of the Amorites, who ruled at Heshbon, where Moses put to death all with the princes of Midian, Evi, Rickham, Zerhur, and Reba, who lived in that country, all puppets of Shihon, in addition to those killed in battle, Balaam son of Beor, and the Soth slayers, who put to death by the people of Israel. The boundary of the Reubenites was the bank of the Jordan River. This was the inheritance of the Reubenites, their villages and cities according to the clans. To the tribe of Gad, Clan by clan, Moses gave the territory of Jazer and all the towns of Gilead, and half the Amorite country as far as Aor near Rabah, the land of Heshbon and Ramath, Mizpah and Betim, and from, it sounds like I'm making words up, guys, I'm really not, Manium and to the region of Debar, in the valley Beth Haram, Beth Nemar, Succoth, and Zaphon, with the rest of the kingdom of Shihon king of the Heshbon, to the east side of the Jordan, north to the east, north to the end of the sea of Kinnereth. This was the inheritance of the Gadites, their cities and villages, clan by clan. To the half tribe of Manasseh, clan by clan, Moses gave the land stretching out from Maham, all of Bashan, which is the entire kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, and the settlements of Jair in Bashan. 60 towns in all, half of Gilead, with Ashtaroth and Erdrei, and royal cities of Og and Bashan belonged to the descendants of Machar, the sons of Manasseh, in other words, the half tribe of the children of Machar for the clans. This is the inheritance that Moses gave out when he was on the plains of Moab across from the Jordan east of Jericho, but Moses gave no inheritance to the tribe of Levi. God, the God of Israel, is their inheritance, just as he told them. Here are the inheritance allotments to the people of Israel received in the land of Canaan. Eleazar, the priest of Joshua, son of Nun, and the heads of the family clans made the allotments. Each inheritance was assigned by a lot to the 9.5 tribes, just as God had commanded Moses. Moses had given the 2.5 tribes their inheritance east of the Jordan, but hadn't given inheritance to the Levites, as he had the others, because the sons of Joseph had become 2 tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim. They gave no allotment to the Levites, but they did give them cities to live in with pasture rights to their flocks and herds. The people of Israel followed through exactly as God had commanded Moses. They apportioned their land. The people of Judah came to Joshua in Gilgal. Caleb, son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, spoke. You'll remember what God said to Moses, the man of God, concerning you and me, and back to Kadesh Barnea. I was 40 years old when Moses, the servant, and God sent me to Kadesh Barnea to spy out the land, and I brought back an honest and accurate report. My companions who went with me discouraged the people, but I stuck to my guns, totally with God, my God. That was the day that Moses solemnly promised, the land on which your feet have walked will be your inheritance, you and your children's forever. Yes, you have lived totally for God. Now look at me. God has kept me alive as he promised. It is now worth 40 years. It is now 40 years since God spoke this word to Moses, years in which Israel wandered in the wilderness. And here I am today, 85 years old. I'm as strong as I was the day Moses sent me out. I'm as strong as ever in the battle, whenever coming or going. So give me the hill country that God promised me. You yourself heard the report that the Anakim, where there was great fortress cities. If God goes with me, I will drive them out, just as God said. Joshua blessed him. He gave him Hebron, and to Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, as an inheritance. Hebron belongs to Caleb, son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, still today, because he gave himself totally to God, the God of Israel. The name of Hebron used to be Kirath Arba, named after Arba, the greatest among the Anakim, and the land has rest from war. Hang on, drop something, and I can't find it. Anyways, Lord, that's a lot, y'all. Sorry. Breakdown of Joshua 1 through 14, 15. God tells Joshua he's old, but still land left to take, unfinished assignment. Instead of waiting, God starts dividing the inheritance anyway. Why? Because promise doesn't depend on perfect timing, it depends on his word. Then Caleb shows up at 85 like a savage. Give me the mountain, no excuses, no coasting, same fire, same faith. The lesson, don't coast just because you've come far. There's still territory with your name on it. Luke 18, 1 through 17. Jesus told them a story showing that it was necessary for them to pray consistently and never quit. He said, there was once a judge in some city who never gave God a thought and cared nothing for the people. The widow of the city kept after him. My rights are being violated. Protect me. He never gave her the time of day, but after this went on and on, he said to himself, I care nothing what God thinks, and even less what people think. But because the widow wouldn't quit badgering me, I'd better do something to see that she gets justice. Otherwise, I'm going to end up beaten black and blue by her pounding. Then the master said, Did you hear what the judge, corrupt as he is saying? So what makes you think God won't step in and work justice for his chosen people who continue to cry out for help? Won't he stick up for them? I assure you he will. He will not drag his feet. But how much of that kind of persistent faith will the Son of Man find on earth when he returns? Ouch. He told his next story to some who were complacently pleased with themselves over the moral performance and looked down their noses as the common people. Two men went up to the temple to pray, one a Pharisee and one and the other a tax man. The Pharisee posed and prayed like this: Oh God, I thank you I'm not like other people, robbers, crooks, adulterers, or heaven forbid, like the tax man. I fast twice a week and tithe on all my income. Meanwhile, the tax man slumped over in the shadows, his face in his hands, not daring to look up, said, God, give mercy, forgive me a sinner. Jesus commented, the tax man, not the other, went home and made right with God. If you walk around with your nose in the air, you're going to end up flat on your face. But if you're content to being simple yourself, you'll become more than yourself. People brought babies to Jesus, hoping he might touch them. When the disciples saw it, they shooed them off. Jesus called them back. Let these children alone. Don't get between them and me. These children are like kingdom's pride and joy. Mark this: unless you accept God's kingdom in the simplicity of a child, you'll never get in. A couple of highlight moments. But you yourself, you're going to end up flat on your face, but if you're content to be simple yourself, you will become more. If you be content to be simple with yourself, you'll become more than yourself. Mark this: unless you accept God's kingdom in the simplicity of a child, you'll never get in. I think that goes a lot. And if you think about it, it goes a lot with race and all the different cultures and things that we're going through right now, where why, I know race is a thing, but why do we see it that way? Where you are a child of God. It doesn't have to be a color thing. And children don't see that way. They're taught to see that way. So that's something I really want you all to think about: is we have to think like children and love our neighbor as we love ourselves. And our neighbor could be any color: green, red, white, blue, black, yellow. It doesn't matter. We have to love everyone the same. Luke 18, 1 through 17 said, Jesus hits two angles: persistent and humility. The persistent, excuse me, hits two angles, yeah, persistence and humility. The persistent widow keeps knocking until she gets justice. God responds to relentless faith. The Pharisee versus the tax collector: one flexes, the other one repents. Only the humble man walks away justified. And Jesus says, Come like a child, dependent, trusting, not self important. The lesson: stay consistent in your prayer, but check your posture. God responds to humility, not ego. Psalms 85, 1 through 13. God, you smiled on your good earth. You brought back good times to Jacob. You lifted the cloud of guilt from your people. You put their sins far out of sight. You took back your sin-provoked threats. You cooled your hot, righteous anger. Help us again, God of our help. Don't hold a grudge against us forever. You aren't going to keep this up, are you? Scowling and angry year after year. Why not help us make a fresh start, a resurrection life? Then your people will laugh and sing. Show us how much you love God. Give us the salvation we need. I can't wait to hear what you'll say. God's about to pronounce his people well, the holy people he loves so much, so they'll never again live like fools. So, how close is salvation is to those who fear him? Our country is home base for glory. Love and truth meet in the street. Right living and whole living embrace and kiss. Truth sprouts green from the ground. Right living pours down from the skies. Oh, yes, God gives goodness and beauty. Our land responds with bounty and blessing. Right living strides out before him and clears a path for his passage. The breakdown of Psalms 85, 1 through 13, a prayer for revival. They remembered God's past mercy and asked him to restore them again. There, there is this powerful line: righteous and peace Kiss meaning when God moves, things align. The lesson is if you want peace, pursue righteousness. Revival starts with turning back, not just asking for relief. Proverbs 13:7 and 8. A presumptuous, showy life is an empty life. A plain and simple life is a full life. The rich can be sued for everything they have, but the poor are free of such threats. Right down at Proverbs 13:7-8 says, some people look rich but have nothing. Others look broke and have real wealth. It's about substance versus image. The lesson says, don't play the image game. Build real value, not fake perception. And again, tomorrow night, it's going to be, again, more of Joshua and more of the kings and the rituals and things like that. And it's a lot, y'all, but I know there's meaning behind it, just like God, our God. So if no one told you today, I love you. I will see you tomorrow. It'll be April 17th. I hope you have a better than good night. And I love you. I love you. I love you. We'll see you tomorrow.